Okay, let's continue with our third speaker, Mr. Salafranca. He has a degree in political science and an MA in sociology and public policies. He is a police officer in Castellón. He's going to talk about a gvSIG solution called Crimen, a new tool for criminal investigation. Hello, can you hear me? Good morning. The project I would like to present is called gvSIG Crime. It aims to create a tool for criminal investigation encompassing routines that are currently found both in commercial and open source software. In recent years, interests have grown in police departments to use geographical information as a way of reinforcing analysis and decision-making operations. In spite of growing interest, the use of GIS by police has been limited due to the high costs, the complexity, and the few tools available for criminal investigation. This project started a year ago in this very venue. In other cities, such as Ciudad Juárez, the police are interested in using gvSIG tools for cognitive maps. We went to Ciudad Juárez. We submitted a presentation. We presented a talk about this use in this city. It was done by Álvaro. What mapping and analysis programs are being used at this moment in time? In 1990, the International Association of Criminal Analysts was set up by a number of analysts who sought to share knowledge and ideas and defend international standards and training for analysts. As regards software resources based on GIS, a number of commercial products are available for crime investigation. We did a little analysis and we realized that on that list, gvSIG was not included as a tool for criminal investigation. That's why we wanted to check whether there were international interests internationally in gvSIG. In 2011, the International Association asked the Standard Methods Committee to prepare a method to identify technologies for crime investigation. This document specified requirements for systems in criminal investigation, including a checklist, which could be used as a starting point for producing GIS software. We realized with this analysis that gvSIG did fulfill 90% of such requirements. It was only in 2 cases in geopositioning that it was not compliant. gvSIG, when entering a street, and gvSIG cannot position it geographically, and concerning timing, the requirement was not fulfilled either, the requirement set by the committee. Okay, so once we knew gvSIG was 90% compliant with all these requirements, we had to see and find potential partners in this business, in this area. We found 3 universities with an interest in the project. Crimina in Universidad Miguel Hernández, Universidad Jaume I, and the Past Criminology Institute Crimina is a study center answerable to Miguel Hernández University, and it is a point of reference in MS and master's degrees in the area of crime internationally. The Past Criminology Institute is a pioneer in producing crime maps in Spain. And lastly, we have Universitat Jaume I and its crime prevention department. We believe gvSIG crime, the project is multidisciplinary, and therefore Jaume I University is now responsible for the mathematical side of the project. Once we knew the partners and the prospects of a commercial software, we used a video from the crime analyst module, which is really one of the best, to try and see if gvSIG, without any external routines, could do what crime analyst actually does. Right. First, the coordinates system is defined. This module is really the best one in criminal matters for you to get to see the potential of gvSIG without any external support. Okay, so we did the same on gvSIG, exactly the same as in the commercial software. And we realized, well, these data are for Castellón, it's a simulation. And it is now an opportunity for all councils to start analyzing these criminal data in relation to geographic settings. The report is not only a paper report, it can be transferred onto a geographic information system. The goal of the project is to develop it for and by analysts. It uses SQL language and gvSIG. I'm going to show you the criminal categories or crime categories. One of the tools of the opportunities offered by gvSIG is the added symbols, the symbology standardized internationally, which allows us, and it also allows us to create a new symbol library based on image files, which can be shared with other communities in crime investigation. Here we can enter the most adequate symbols for each crime. you work with crimes, you want to differentiate them, to distinguish them. It's a mistake to work with all the information all together. In Castellón, emergency calls means 60,000 records every year. Therefore, you need different layers based on each individual crime. Which is what we're doing now. I'm stating what type of crime it is, the category of the offense or crime. In this case, a kernel analysis is conducted to identify crime concentrations in the city. From gvSIG crime, we're also trying to take the kernel on to the axis or at an axis level by specifying a bandwidth and also by seeing the kernel and how it is scattered on the streets. When this type of analysis is shown in universities with technology degrees, the goal is for students not to be scared, not to be afraid of using GIS without additional costs. The idea is to encourage students to do their PhDs and their theses on a visual platform or through a visual platform. I'm going to include the district layer now. In this example, we realize that, well, when I said the project is for and by analysts, it is because of this very reason. Because in this case, the goal is to see, the distance between the police station and the crime scene. Police are never at the police station. They're always on their beat, patrolling the city. So they need to know distances and specifying the distance with the police station is not particularly relevant. If the cameras are on the right position throughout the city, then we can fine-tune the system. But are these CCTV cameras well located? To this end, we need to do a surveillance filtering, which is what I'm doing now. We use traffic cameras in the example. We could also find cameras in banks or any other CCTV systems. And once you have the location of the cameras, you classify them into subsets or sets, and you save them for other analysis.
We will also put the most appropriate symbol for this. And what we are going to do is a buffer of 100 meters. And we will see if the vigilance area is adapted to the number of crimes that we have. Here we see that there is an area in which there is a concentration of incidences, but the camera doesn't arrive there. So what are we going to do? We will see processes done by gvSIG if compared to other commercial programs related to crime analysis. In this case, we have Spider, the average time, and the distance of each crime in the city. And then we have software attack and other types of software. In the end, all programs then do the same routines. The idea, as I said previously, is to group up all these tools in a tool which is gvSIG crime. The influence area in this case, this is the canal I was mentioning before. This is selected for a methodology or a specific type in order to see the cluster especially. This is really a very interesting tool to see the clusters. Another possibility offered by gvSIG is to do a link with a report in a paper format, which is widely used among the police. Then we see the document that is related to this to the crime in question that we are studying. Although the possibilities offered by other software is to leave it free so that the citizens may see what happens in the city, but we think that can have a cultural problem. We are not ready to see what happens in the city, because in the end we can criminalize an area or a neighborhood. So in this area we have the grids, and that allows us to see if there are overlappings of incidences in a specific area. Here is a descriptive model. Up to now we have been dealing with a descriptive model that tries to tell us what is happening in the city. See, we want to incorporate new tools to the project, going a step beyond. In this case, we go a step further, and although there is a toolbar with an application that has integrated this, we want to do the same thing with gvSIG. We want to have a toolbar which is very convenient for the user in order to be able to analyze the crime incidences. When we talk to students that try to do this, they leave it due to lack of data or due to the fear of making mistakes. Very often we have applications in open, which is the case of the crime stat, but the crime stat has no visual platform. So then we should link gvSIG crime with crime stat. Another possibility is the vectorial seeing the cluster of incidences through polygons and ellipses. We see the concentration in space. Then another thing in which we're working is in the ring map. Here we have gvSIG at this moment. That's being done by a professor of the Miguel Hernández University, and another tool that we want to add. This is very similar to the cellular grid. And what else do we want to add? We want to add a profile of a geographical profile of crimes, because then we can know which are the movements of a criminal through the city, and also we can use Manhattan or gvSIG.1, how the criminal is moving around the city, and open new research areas, new investigation areas about how some animals, from the point of view of the anthropology, there is an analogy between how an animal goes around and a human moves around in a city. So then we can also study this with this application. Not only do we want to do when the next crime may take place, but also the influence area where this criminal may live through the Rosemont formula. Although we know where this takes place, we want to know when, at what times crimes take place. Then we can use the heuristic watches, which is attack and resurrect. We can incorporate them to the gvSIG crime platform. We see the times and the days of the week in which crimes mostly take place. And finally, the field of prediction. This is a field in which the Jaume I University is working, and we at ESRI, we have a module which is the geographical weighted platform. We have been doing something, and there is a project over the table, which is the development of geographical information system for the prediction of robberies in the fields, and we use a series of parameters like the price of the crop, the illumination, the different roads and ways, and a study of the robberies that took place in that area. At the present, we only have two pieces of software. This is something new, so we hope that this is going to get mature. The Eurocop senior professorship is working in this area. 4 items, 4 points. are the most important one for this project. The first is the open software application that we know, link them to gvSIG crime, not developing again something which has already been developed in one of the applications. Any of you that is able to do scripts and you want to post it in a web, please go ahead. Then we can do those scripts in a coordinated way throughout our region. And the fourth one, which is the most important one, is looking for funding so that this project can continue. We are trying to work in this project for 1 year. We can do posters, we can do webinars in Latin America, but we want the people to know this, and we need somebody to sponsor and fund those projects so that such projects can become a reality. For us, this is very important. It is very important to use these toolbars at least with 4 or 5 types of analysis, and this is all by me, and I hope that next year you will see that this project is a reality, is already in operation, and I'm sure that different universities cooperate with this. Thank you very much. Thank you, Daniel. Any questions? Hello? I have a question. Is there a public database where you can check this information about crimes or types of crimes, things like that? Here in Spain, we have nothing about crimes database. In the United States, you can find something, but here there is nothing. I know they are working in order to release and free those databases, at least regarding telephone calls, for instance. I have a question. This has a very important component of technological development, which is the collaboration you had with departments of the city council, or which are the means that you used to be able to do that, because in principle that is a bit out of the competences of the police. Because we are using incidences of confidential telephone calls. 80% of what gets into the rooms are family-related telephone calls, and we have differences in competences between the national police and the local police, but we are speaking about citizens living together, which is the importance. Who is behind this project? The Basque Institute of Living Together, the University Jaume I. You are spelling. I don't see any criminologist here. Is there any criminologist here? So then we have seen the first table. I think this is a very interesting. We have been showing here different tools which are surprising or at least very interesting.